Hey, what's going on, guys? Saturday, February 4th, 2012. Let's see. Interesting day, just as expected at work. You know, the madness before the storm, so to speak, or the pre-madness, whatever you want to call it, for the real madness starts tomorrow. Or as we like to call it around work, Christmas 2, because Super Bowl Sunday is one of the most insane days of the year, without a doubt. And, of course, again, and I know I'm sure you guys are getting tired of hearing me talk about this. Again, once Super Bowl's over, I'll lay out the football talk. So, like I said, the New York Giants in the Super Bowl, and me living in Jersey, you know, it's that area that's the basically the local team. So it's going to be even more insane. It's going to be very ugly tomorrow. After a few hours, you won't be able to get a bag of chips. That aisle will be like just ran through. One neat little thing, every once in a while that they let us do is we get a chance to work in unconventional attire. Meaning, in this case, we're allowed to wear our football jerseys and shirts and whatnot if we want. And I was wearing my, I don't know if you can see this, my Redskin jersey, my throwback. For those familiar, player by the name of John Riggins. This is old school football. One of the best linebackers ever. He freaking ran through people, man. So I wore this today, even though, yes, the Redskins are not in the Super Bowl, but, you know, this is my team I'm going to represent. So, yeah, and I can get to wear this today and wear it again tomorrow. So that should be fun. The interesting thing is one of my managers, Frank, he's also a big Redskin fan. And I thought I'd tell you guys the story of, like, you know, well, why am I a Redskin fan? I get the question from people all the time. Why are you a Redskin fan and you live in Jersey? How come you're not a Giant or Jet fan? Well, all goes back to when I was younger. I guess mid-'80s when I started to. My dad is really into football, and so is my brother. So when I was younger, like, I was not into football. But I wanted to, like, bond, I guess, or hang out with my dad and my brother every Sunday. But you'd talk to them, but you couldn't talk to them on a Sunday because it was like both were focused on the football games. It's like you couldn't, you might as well have been invisible. Because it's just, they were focused, and it was just like, you know, it just, they were in the zone, you know. Maybe that's why I never got really obsessed with sports, because of I don't know. You know, I like sports, but I don't get obsessed with it, you know. I have my other obsessions. I have my wrestling and my Star Wars. Got my Episode 1 t-shirt on. I'm gearing up for that in a few days. But anyway, so as a kid, I decided, well, I'm going to make an effort to try and get into football and try and learn so that maybe I can kind of, you know, kind of hang out on the couch with my brother and my dad and try to understand it more. I still don't think, after all these years, I still don't think I understand it totally. But anyway, so I figured, well, I'll pick a team of my own. And my dad's the Giant fan, my brother's the Eagle fan. And I figured, well, I'll pick a team of my own. So I don't want to just, like, pick the same team they are. I'll pick my own team and kind of root for that. And I used to think, well, what team am I going to think of? Now, in the 80s and even in the going into the early 90s, the Washington Redskins were a much better team than they are now. And they were one of the teams that were always in the thick of things. They were always in that hunt. They're always, in the playoffs, they've won 3 Super Bowls in a span of 10 years, which is actually pretty good. So, I don't know if I can show you this. I even got these banners. I got these for Christmas a couple years ago from my brother, showing the past years that they won. I don't know if you can see that too. Yeah, that's better. They're pretty cool. So anyway, so they were teams that were always sort of. They were a team that was always in the thick of things. So if my brother was hanging out with his friends and talking football, whatever, it's like talking about this team looked good this week or that week or whatever. The Washington Redskins, that was a team that I always seem to remember him talking about, because the team would come up, because that would be one of the teams that would be having a good season, or had a good game or big win that week or what have you. So, and of course, me being the younger brother, and in many ways tried to look up to my older brother, because, he's my older brother. He must know what he's talking about. He knows everything. That's, it's kind of something that you sometimes you deal with. You have an older brother or an older sister, you sort of look up to them. It's like, they know stuff, and you're trying to learn from them, It's, all kind of part of growing up. So that name stuck out in my head for I guess, for that and a couple other reasons, I guess. So I decided, well, I'm going to be a Washington Redskin fan. So I just decided, so every week I would watch the games. The Giant game would be usually the game that would be on TV. But, they would always show highlights and replays of the other games, but I'd always ask, what the Redskins do, and what they do, and how did this guy do it? And I would watch and try and ask questions, and sometimes they'd get annoyed at that, but I don't know. And I would just try and learn and try and get into it. And, again, it never worked out, exactly, but I did work on it, and I tried. So it just, and the more I got into it, and the older I got, the more I understood. And, the more I watched, and I just learned, So, and I did get, by the time I was sort of old enough, about 90, going into 89, 90, 91, when I started to understand more and pay attention more and watch the games more regularly. It was in 91 when the Redskins won the Super Bowl. So it was really cool. So I got to see my team win the Super Bowl, and I had gotten a different football jersey for Christmas that year. This guy, Mark Rippon, who was the quarterback for the Skins at the time. So, so that's how that started. And it was just, I just became a fan ever since. I'm still not hugely, I'm into it, but I can't say I still can't say that I fully understand football and the rules. I try, it's just, other things I became more interested in other things. And, like I said, my other obsessions grew. And those obsessions now surround my room right now with all the various Star Wars and wrestling items and comic book stuff in my room and whatnot. But anyway, so that's that little story, given the football season coming to an end very, very soon. So that's that story. Real something else real quick I was doing earlier. If you saw my vlog slash haul video from yesterday, I talked about some of the figures I got, and I had fun earlier, uh, opening up a bunch of figures, which is just fun. I did still keep the packaging, so when I get a chance to do the reviews, I can show you that as well. And these last three, these are the ones that are staying in the packaging. These guys here. Like I said, maybe if I get another Darth Maul one day, we'll see. And the Obi-Wan, the Qui-Gon are repacks. I have those figures already. They're in the Episode 1 Blu-ray pack. And I know I'm repeating myself now because I mentioned this in yesterday's video. But there's a review of that pack on my channel if you want to check that out. If you want to see reviews on those figures. So I don't need to. I don't feel I need to open those up. And they just look great in the packaging. I love the card backs on those. So those are going to stay in the packaging. But I do have all these other figures that will be reviews. There will be reviews on, and I got a couple of figures loose on eBay, which most of them are kind of not worth it. But there's one that I believe I'll do a review on because it's a pretty cool figure. We'll see. That'll all come in time. So plenty of stuff to review now, and hopefully more on the way. We'll see within the next week or so. We'll see if I can pick up some other stuff. I got my eye on some other stuff. So that's about it for today. I'm gonna let you guys go and just finish up the rest of the night. And now I'll see you guys tomorrow. And that's gonna be it. So until tomorrow, have a great day and hang in there.